Welcome to the episode of Career Juice, where we talk to real people with real jobs and get all of the juice that it took for them to succeed in the areas that they chose. I'm your host, Tiffany Yard, author of How to Wine with Your Boss and the owner of Motovino, an education platform that pairs professional development training with really fun programs in wine. Today, we're talking to Amina Marshall. She is the owner and group fitness instructor for Ultimate Fitness for Life and someone who moonlights as a cellist in her free time. Let's get started. What does a typical client look like for you? And what kind of programs do you put together for them?
It depends. Like I have moms. I have some guys who want to gain muscle, moms who want to lose weight, lose baby weight. I have women who want to gain weight. So it's a different array of people. I get a little bit of everybody.
Now, you weren't always into fitness. You actually have a degree in music education. Mm-hmm. What is the story of that? I gotta know.
So I started playing the cello in junior high school. My favorite show actually at the time was Party of Five. That's why I wanted to play the violin. I know, throwback, showing my age. But yeah, so I saw her playing the violin and it's just like, oh my god, I want to do that. Ended up becoming principal cellist in 6th grade, which was mind-blowing. That took me all the way through college. I played at Carnegie Hall, played with the New York Pops Orchestra twice. I had 2 solo performances at Carnegie Hall. I played at Lincoln Center.
So how did you transition from this musical passion, obviously, to the fitness side? How that happen?
I have a fit parents. My dad's a marathon runner. My mom's is avid, loves tennis. She loves to play handball. So I kind of always been that kid that's running around, can't kind of keep still. Plus, being from West Indian background, you're always busy.
Yes, so, you're a fellow Bayesian.
Exactly. From that, I've always been in sports, dance, and stuff like that. So being in fitness, actually after college, I went to med school for a year, and I figured I'd be a doctor and help people because I love the human body. I'm just such a big fan, like when it comes to human anatomy and physiology. And med school just sucked for me. I wanted to still help people and get into the human body, and I said I'll just do training.
And haven't looked back since.
Nope.
I signed up one of your courses. You nearly killed me. I appreciate that. One thing you always taught me was that everything in moderation, even moderation. And so I appreciate that you're always looking at the balanced living of it all. So if anybody wanting to get into personal training, what kind of certifications should they have?
Well,
at least to be taken seriously.
Yeah, you want to have one of the accredited. There's NASM, there's ACE, there's I think it's NSCPT, but I am NASM certified, and I'm just NASM all the way. And there are other certifications, like I'm also certified in kettlebells, pre and postnatal, so I can work with pregnant mothers, women who want to get pregnant. If you plan on getting pregnant, it's good to start working out before you get pregnant, so that you can work out through the pregnancy, and then that way it'll kind of help with the pregnancy, after giving labor, the pregnancy, your snapback is going to be a little bit crazier than others because you had that fitness during the entire process.
So what if I want to snap back from Taco Tuesdays? How?
You can do that. You can do that.
When you think about the type of clients you have now, and the fact that health is such a concern, especially for people of color and folks who come from very colorful backgrounds, what have been some of the challenges or the narratives that you've had to unpack?
Well, a lot of people are traumatized when it comes to eating because they associate, a lot of people associate food with feeling. So if they feel sad, they'll eat. If they're tired, they'll eat. If they're having a good mood celebration, they'll eat. But the thing is that it's they have to learn that just because you're eating doesn't necessarily feed your happiness. You have to find happiness somewhere else in life. So a lot of them are stressed out with work, stressed out with home. I have some single women who are just oh my god, I'm never gonna get married, have kids. You're here to work out. You're doing this for you, and you just don't associate food with feeling. So that is actually probably one of the hardest things to do. Because they're so used to it. Start with a client, I'll put them on a 2-week reset. So you're basically cutting out certain foods that I would associate as triggers for them.
So you had this idea for personal training into I'm going to jump in this. What were the steps that you took to get started?
I did a lot of research on, what certifications to get. what certification would be beneficial to my clients, the client base that I want. I had to pick a demographic that I wanted to shoot for. Also had to get licensed and just like go with competitors in the area, because there are a lot of independent trainers in the area. So it's just like, you know, you have to, are you gonna be in a competition, or do you want to work on building each other? And a lot of people are in competition with each other, but I'm more so like, if I see there's a boxing coach, I'm gonna say, well, you know, I have a client that I want you to work with. They're one of my clients. We're doing strength conditioning, but I want you to help with the boxing aspect. I want them to do the cardio with you. They're gonna pay you personally, and we designate a program for that client. So it's not so much like I'm taking food out of your pocket, I'm putting money in your pocket, because we're working together to get them to their end goal. And then they'll refer you to other people, to their friends and family and stuff like that. So I just had to kind of think about what I wanted as a whole for the business, what I wanted people to see when they saw my business.
Yeah. So collaboration is key in this space.
That's it. Let everybody eat. There should be no reason why, oh, he does this, oh, she does that better than me, I don't want anybody to see her. Or, you know what, you gotta help your people.
Strength in numbers. I like it.
It's like, there's no need to, there's enough money for everybody.
Okay.
So let's just all get it together.
So what are some of the strategies that you use to build new clients? Is there like now I obviously don't want your secret sauce, but if there are like key tips that I think anyone will be able to use to kind of get their feet off the ground, because once they have all their paperwork in order, they have all their certifications, and they can do this work, how do they start making money?
So I would say start with family and friends. A lot of people don't like to train family and friends because they don't like to listen. Yeah. But there are, I mean, not everybody has, you know, that issue. There are friends that you can help out, but don't give discounts. As far as just making money, you're gonna get no's all the time. You gotta get used, you gotta get comfortable with hearing the word no, because just because somebody says no doesn't mean that they don't want it. They might not want it right now, but find out, like keep digging deep. Like there are follow-up questions. If somebody says, oh, I don't want to do personal training, I can't afford it. Okay, well, what can you afford at this time? You know, so you want to make sure you take in as much as you can, save as much as you can, and just start with leaps. Just take leaps.
So juggling entrepreneurship and motherhood, how the hell do you do it?
I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. It's definitely a learning process. Making time for her, though, is very crucial. She'll call, when are you coming home? I miss you. I want to spend time with you. You know, they're late nights, there's early mornings, so you do miss out on some things, but you have to make sure that it's not the important things. If she has a test at school, I just want to make sure that when she comes home, regardless of how she did on the test, you know, we have time to de-stress together. So we can go get ice cream or something and just go sit somewhere and just go eat, take her out to a movie, just so she can kind of feel like, all right, well, I know I had a stressful day studying, but now I can de-stress with my mom. So things are a lot easier.
You were actually in a physical fitness competition. Now, this is the same people I see all oiled up and greasy on the stage with these, like, you know, stripper shoes on. They just walking. Yeah. Sorry, the wine's kicking in. It's fascinating to watch, and I had no idea that you were part of that until I saw photos. Oh my God, you looked amazing. So what was that process like?
It was grueling. It was not fun.
What didn't you eat? Or what could you eat?
So it basically 6 months. I trained myself for that competition because I was starting out as a personal trainer when I was working at the Equinox, and you know, you're starting, so you're not really making the big bucks yet. You're building your business. So I trained myself. I did my research on YouTube, read books and stuff like that. I looked at posing coaches, and I had 2 friends to help me with it. So one of my friend and I kind of went through it together, and we basically ate chicken, asparagus, string beans for 5 to 6 months.
Okay.
I mean, it was all about counting calories.
That is insane.
Weigh our food. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody who's sane through a competition.
Seriously, it's an entire body transformation. I'm sure that kind of
6 months.
I'm sure that impacted again the type of programs that you put in place for your clients.
Once you get the food down, everything else is just like
it's working out. It's burning. Yeah. Now this is what I call strength training.
That's great.
You know?
You're lifting. You got the flexion in the wrist and then you got your shoulder press. That is a good start, Tiff. What was that? 10 pounds?
I don't even know what that was. All I know is my shoulder hurts, and as you can tell, I haven't picked that up in probably 3 years. So that's as close to a competition I think I'll ever get. But I commend you for that because there aren't a lot of people of color in that space too.
That's true. I have some more questions because now you're talking about aging. Vintage wine. Say I make wine at home. If I leave it for a few years, is it vintage? Or like, what is vintage?
Question. Vintage is the year the grapes were picked. You could have a wine that's from 2006. 2006 is the year that grape was pulled off a vine. And when it was pulled off a vine, it went through its fermentation process. If it happened to be a lovely red wine, put into a barrel perhaps, or some type of tank, and it sat there for 2 or 3 years. By the time you got it, and it was, 2010 now, drinking a 2006 wine, that's the year that the grapes were picked.
Oh my God! So like wines from like 1776, the grapes were picked in 1776.
Yeah, I never had a wine from 1776.
Throwing numbers out. I'm not sure why that
independent wine.
But like they have the older wines.
For sure, yeah.
That's kind of girl stuff. I think about it.
Not even. Like some of the best wines you'll ever have. I mean, have been aged for such a long period of time. Mm-hmm. And that aging is where so much magic happens. Because if it's aged in, say, an oak barrel, all the vanilla flavors from the wood begin to infuse into the liquid. And by the time it comes out and it's bottled for you, you can actually smell it, taste it. You ever, wine that smells, it smells very oaky. It smells very woodsy. Very, it has a smoky vibe to it. Oh, it must have been aged in oak for a little while. And again, some wines are aged for years before you get it, before they put it in a glass bottle to you. Some are even aged in bottles, so they'll bottle it and then seal it up.
Really?
Yeah, in enclosed and protected environments where they can control temperature and air. Cool stuff, right?
Well, I can see why you makes you
a wine fan, right? But of course, come to my house.
That's the better
Bring the fridge and we'll work it out for sure.
Me drinking by myself, this sounds like a disaster.
My best moments have been finishing a bottle of my own.
I'm doing burpees for an hour. Nobody wants to do that.
Oh, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
So
Hope you guys had a great time tuning in. Catch us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for more talk on all the juice that it takes for great people in great fields doing amazing things across industries. See you soon. Cheers.